All right, so Friday hero balance changes, guys. We got 5-star Covenant Kisei buff, Cartuja buff, Dingo Badingo, and Apocalypse Ravi, guys. 5-star Moonlight, by the way. The probability and number churn based on the fully enhanced characters. Please note the skill does not mention changes to cooldown. Then none will be made. The values and skills descriptions mentioned in this preview may differ from the actual update. All right, Apocalypse Ravi gave you a 5% for every 20 fighting spirit. They took that away. They took away the critical hit chance from fighting spirit and gave you a 30% critical hit chance. Wow. Okay, that's gonna make building her a whole lot easier. You only have to achieve 70% crit with her. And yeah, only 70% crit. That's not bad. That's a lot of stats. That's a lot of stats. Deliverance and Divine Judgment upon the enemy when the enemy is defeated. Revise a random dead ally with 10% health. Increase combat readiness by 100%. So Apocalypse Ravi can now res somebody like Arbiter Vildred reses. That's beautiful. That could be annoying. I will say I have died in the game to an Apocalypse Ravi before, like watched an Arbiter Vildred die. Somebody gets rezzed. If they would have had 100% combat readiness, I can see that being a game changer right there. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that being a game changer for sure. That's definitely pretty powerful, depending on where they are. Sometimes you're going to be annoyed by that. Other times you're going to be like, yeah. First adjustment will be made, so the passive skill effect, War God's Might as a tank here. Apocalypse Ravi attacks won't work in conjunction to War God's passive effect, however, compared to what we originally planned. Apocalypse Ravi passive effect for War God's Might was not as effective as intended. We're just going to skip all that. We already read what it was. Kisei, attacks with the Scythe. Damage dealt increased by 70% when the target is covered by a barrier. All right. Attacks with the Scythe. Damage dealt increased by 70% when the target is buffed now. I mean, yeah, that's good. Wow. How good can that be? How good can that be? Does that make her worthwhile? Not sure. Nocturne leaps towards the enemy to attack, increasing the skill cooldown by 2 turns. Before granting a stealth to the caster for 2 turns, a critical hit will grant a barrier to the caster for 2 turns. Barrier strength increased proportional caster's attack. Honestly, that right there could make a huge difference on her. That right there could make a huge difference. The barrier is a lot of survivability on top of stealth. If she's really hard to kill, like Assassin Coley, Tenebria hard to kill because of a barrier, that could make a huge difference. Okay, so I'm on board with Kisei's buff. Kisei's buff is pretty nice. If used properly, probably. Cartuja attacks all enemies with wild energy with 75% to 100% max chance to decrease attack for 2 turns. It went from a 50% to upwards to 100% chance. So, what? Right? Yeah. No. 50% to 75% chance. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, not bad. Not bad. Additional damage will increase when the caster has less than 75% health. That might be pretty decent. He's still a green unit, which I guess that works. Don't break the barrier, don't break stealth. Very true, very true. Maybe. Dingo recovers the caster's health. Attacks all enemies with Oven Glove, recovering the caster's health when the enemy is bleeding. Has a chance to inflict a burn for 2 turns. Amount recovered increased proportional to damage dealt. Huh. That is very curious right there. Bruiser Dingo, win. Provides all allies with a mill, dispelling all debuffs and increasing critical hit chance for 2 turns. Wait. Providing all allies with the mill, dispelling all debuffs, increasing critical hit chance for 2 turns before increase. Wow. C-Dom? Dude, he has a C-Dom buff. That's kind of huge. That is kind of huge. It's time to build your Gordon Ramsays, guys. An AoE cleanse? Dude, Dingo. Dingo, where have you been my whole life? Do we build Dingo now? I feel like we build Dingo now. Get rid of those potato critters. Huh. Interesting. So these balance adjustments that are scheduled to occur December 26th, guys. Honestly, good balance adjustments, man. They don't seem like they're just balance adjustments just to be balance adjustments. They seem very, very solid. Kisei seems like that could be a really, really good balance adjustment, bringing Kisei into the fold a little bit. Apocalypse Ravi seems good. That extra critical hit chance is going to allow you to dump stats elsewhere, meaning Apocalypse Ravi can hit harder. Cartuja, I guess, sure. And Dingo, very, very, very intriguing. Very intriguing indeed. So, I mean, it is a water meta, like we always say. All right, so as far as Apocalypse Ravi goes here, guys, this is a chart on max rolls. So a lot of people are running their Apocalypse Ravi around 85%-ish critical hit chance, just for that RNG factor. So the way I look at this is you have that critical hit chance here, guys. 3% chance, okay? You have a 3% chance to roll, or you have 3 to 5% chance to roll on 85 gear. It's like 3 to 5%. Oh, what you have on 85 gear, you have the 3% to 5% upgrade to critical hit chance. Okay, so if you're running that standard, which is an 85% critical hit chance, okay, those are what essentially anywhere between let's just say it's 15. Okay, 15 low rolls. So let's just say 5 critical hit chance rolls or 3 critical hit chance rolls. All right. Those are 3 to 5 rolls that could go into crit damage, health, or something else on Apocalypse Ravi now. You know what I mean? So that's the way I'm looking at this buff. That 30% extra critical hit chance buff, I think, is actually good. I don't think it's a terrible buff. I actually think it's a pretty decent buff. Her numbers are going to get better just from you being able to allocate stats elsewhere other than critical hit chance, okay? That's the way I look at it. And I think that's a good way of looking at it. Just because you're not seeing a raw 10% damage coming from her S1 or her S3, I don't think that's the end of the world. And to note on her S3, honestly, man, like being an Arbiter Vildred user and her using an S, being resurrected at 100% combat readiness, I know it's RNG who it's gonna land on, but honestly, that's pretty powerful. Okay, Apocalypse Ravi rule on a team. Maybe you got Eiko Lee on the team or something like that. Rule dies. Boom. Ravi gets lucky with an S3, takes somebody out. Boom. Rules back with 100% combat readiness, or Eiko Lee with 100% readiness. That's kind of game changer right there. That is dangerous. Trust me. I die all the time with Arbiter Vildred and kill people. and it feels good, and it feels good. Okay, so you could do that with anybody with Apocalypse Ravi. So I actually think the Apocalypse Ravi buffs are really decent. It's a good starting point to see where it can go. She's already super powerful as a counter unit that can counter. I just think this buff is going to let people flesh her out a little bit better, let people min-max her for more damage. So I don't think it's bad at all. That's just my thoughts. I don't know. Up to the top, we got a fast SSB. You know what that means? Tanky Charles. You know what that means? He's dead anyways. He's dead anyways. Look at that. Poppity pop pop pop. Yufine action. Let's go. And Dragon's Roar. Oh, yeah. All right. Perfectly balanced, guys. Going into a C-Dom dance right here. Into another Soul Burn for some more poppity pop action. Boom. All right, dancing's over, guys. Dancing's over. That's the Yufine dance right there.